Hello everybody, Lord Almighty here. Today is Friday, November 27th. It is the day after Thanksgiving. I hope everyone was able to celebrate this year's Thanksgiving to the fullest extent possible given the current situations. So this morning, after I woke up from my food coma, I decided I would do a little bit of fishing before I made my way home from my parents' house. So this stream runs very close by, so I thought, what the heck, I'd give it a try for a couple hours, see if I couldn't fool any of the little native brown trout that live in these waters. The conditions here look like they could be pretty challenging. We had some cloud cover move in this morning, which is definitely going to help, but as you can see, the river is extremely low and extremely clear, which could make for some very spooky trout. So I'm going to have to be pretty careful in my approach to these fish and hope that I don't have them see me before I hook them, because that's, you know what happens when they see you first. They just get complete lockjaw. Well, I got a follow from a little fish out there. Little guy. He's like maybe 4 or 5 inches long. I don't know if it was a trout or a chub or something else, but given today's conditions, I expect that I'm going to get a lot more follows than hits. I can see a trout right there. He's a decent size too. He looks like he's 12 inches or better. I don't know if he can see me. If he can, then I've got no chance of getting him. But we'll see. I'll bring this jig by his face, see what he does. Yeah, he didn't even move. Well, getting up here on a higher vantage point, I can see that right above these, where these riffles start here, at the tail end of this pool, there are at least 3 trout. And one of them is definitely maybe 12 to 14 inches. I don't know if you can see him, but he's moving right now. I'm pointing right at him. Man, that is a nice fish. I'd love to hook that one. Well guys, I switched from that curly-tail grub over to this little rapala. I'm hoping that maybe I can trigger the predatory instincts of one of these trout in this pool. There's a nice fish out there, and he just came after this jerkbait. That looks like maybe a 14 to 15 inch trout, which for a little creek like this, that is a big fish. Oh, he went after it again. My heart's pounding right now. Come on, baby, come back for it. I'm shaking right now. That's a big fish. That's a big fish for this little creek. Shh, fucking ducks. Don't scare them. What's got me so keyed up is this fish wants to eat. He's not just laying around like the other fish I've seen so far. This is an active fish. He's swiped at this jerkbait several times. There we go, fish on. There's a little guy. It's definitely not the big one I saw. All right. Whoops. Well, that's fish number 1 anyway. Let's get him off of here. Ah, all right. Nice, pretty little brown. Maybe 8 or 9 inches. Not too bad. All right, we'll get him back. There you go. He hit that little orange and gold Pins minnow. Maybe I found the lure they want today. Who knows? Holy cow. There's a big trout there too. That might be the biggest one I've seen all day. Guys, if you don't believe me about there being big trout in this creek, look at that. I don't shake like that for small fish, guys. There are some bruisers in here. Well, guys, good news, bad news time. The good news is I am seeing a ton of fish. A lot more than I expected to see here. And my confidence has spiked since I figured out that they'll show some interest in the jerkbait. The bad news is, as I was afraid might be the case, these fish are exceptionally wary today. So, with only a couple of exceptions, they'll follow this bait or swipe at it once, maybe twice, and then that's all I'll see of them. But at least I'm seeing fish. At least I'm getting a few bites. Well, I'm starting to see some fish rising to flies, which is not a good sign for me, because if these fish are starting to get keyed in on flies, they're probably going to ignore whatever I'm throwing. There we go. Whoa! Oh, we came off. Dang it. Oh, that was a decent fish. That was like a 12-inch brown. Oh, man, when they start jumping like that, God, you have to say a prayer to keep those things on the hook. Wow, what was that all about? That was a nice trout, too. There we go, fish on. Oh no! Oh no, that was a big fish. That was a big fish. He's still sitting right there. That was a big brown. That had to have been a 15-inch brown. Oh man, how'd he come off? Oh wow. Oh, that hurt. That was a big fish. Whew, boy. I knew they were coming after this jerkbait. And they were swiping at it and swiping at it. Finally, I guess that guy must have had enough. Man, that was a big fish. I'm shaking again. Look at that right there. Dead brown trout. Big dead brown trout. Kind of a tough thing to see. But I've seen a ton of live ones today, so that's certainly not the end of the world. Oh, there we go. Little guy on. Little guy on. Come on up. Okay. Little brownie. Let me get this guy out of here. Well, just because he was so wrapped up, I had to grab him, but he wasn't hooked that badly. He wasn't like hooked in his gills or anything, so I think he should be okay. Well, cruelly, I lost that Penn's minnow on a rock in the middle of the river, and that was the only lure I had gotten anything to bite all day. So I tied on this kind of similar looking crankbait, or jerkbait. This is a Rapala X-Wrap in brook trout color, and fortunately I found one that was into it. So maybe my fishing day can continue for a little bit longer. Well, everybody, I have worked up and down this stretch, and I think I've hooked just about every fish in here that's willing to bite what I'm throwing. Overall, it was a pretty tough day. I managed to land 2 small browns, and I had my heart broken by a big one. But this has been one of the most exhilarating days of fishing I've had in a long time. Seeing so many trout, especially so many big ones in this tiny creek, proves that this is a very healthy body of water. And for a creek that runs through a park in the middle of town, that's pretty remarkable. So while I may not have caught a lot of fish, I am definitely satisfied with how the day turned out. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next adventure.